Welcome to Golden Hour Knitwear. My name is Camry, and guys, we made it to episode 10. Okay, today is very exciting because I have three finished objects. Warning, I have no ends woven in on like anything because I just haven't had time or the energy, and I'll show you why. Because there's a lot of ends to weave in, and I just haven't had the energy to do that lately. Anyway, so let's start with the most exciting one. It's done! My colorwork sweater, kind of trying to show it. I'll back up. My colorwork sweater is finally done. I know, lots of ends. I'm sorry, but I'm not. So you get to just deal with it. So this is my colorwork sweater. I absolutely love it. It turned out so good. And I'm so happy that I did it. So if you're new here, or if you, sorry, fixing the camera. So if you're new here or haven't watched in a while or whatever, if this sweater is new to you, I just made it up as I went. I've seen a few photos of these fun colorwork sweaters, chunky colorwork sweaters on Pinterest lately, where like it's all over, it's drop shoulder, it's chunky, it's big, it's funky, colorwork, not like your traditional leaves and flowers and stuff like that. And I thought they looked so much fun, and I really wanted one, and there was not really a pattern that was speaking to me. I didn't see any patterns. I couldn't find any patterns that were what I wanted. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. I'm just gonna do it myself and give it a shot. So I did. I picked a color palette. I dyed all of the yarn myself. There's 4 colors. So there's this main color, and then there's this dark blue, which is from my last collection, the Distant Mountain Range, the dark blue. This yellow, I mean, I don't have names for these, but there's this burnt orangey yellow color, and then this rust or cinnamon or pumpkin spice or whatever color you want to call that. And I love them all together. I think it turned out amazing. I love the colors. I want a sweater quantity in all of these colors, which is fine and doable because I have the color recipes and I can just do it because I dyed it myself, and I can, you know, I can do whatever I want, which is the fun part about dyeing. But so I love this. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Where do I start? I'll start at the top. So the neck is folded over double. All of the ribbing in this pattern in this sweater is 2x2 ribbing. It's a drop shoulder. The drop comes to like here-ish on me, so it's a pretty hefty drop shoulder. And then there are German short rows in the sleeves. So as you can see, it's kind of like a wedge, so that the color work on the sleeve matches up with arm. And look how nice, or on the body, look how nice it like matches up. It's like perfect. Every time, so when I first started knitting the first sleeve, I was knitting it, and then I got to the color work, and I'd put it on and go look in the mirror, and I'd be like, oh, it's matching up. Oh, it's matching up. And then I'd take it off and knit another 10 rounds, and I'd go look in the mirror and be like, oh, it's matching up. Oh, it's matching up. And I did that like so often. So that first sleeve took me longer than it should have because I tried it on so often just to see it all matching up and being all excited about it. But I'm glad I did because it matches up well, and I knew that for a fact. And I could have, you know, trying things on helps you go back and rip things out and fix them if needed. But anyways, so I'm super happy with how it turned out. Let's see. Where the increases are on the body gives you this fun, like chunky detail around the collar here, which is fun. And then in the back, there's obviously the shoulder shaping here. That's nothing like super special. This is on a lot of sweaters. But then there's the tiny little glimpse of color work in the back. I probably should have done it like an extra row down and not literally the second or third row. I should have done it 1 or 2 rows further down so it's easier to see. But I'm happy that I did that because it's just a fun little pop and kind of brings the color work up and ties the whole thing together a little bit more. All right, this sweater is also here, I'll take it out and show you. Lots and lots of different motifs. So what I was going for was a nice blend from the solid into the motifs. So I have like these zigzaggies to kind of blend into it instead of having a harsh line. Like if it went straight into this, I felt like it'd be kind of weird to just suddenly have a harsh line of color work. So I decided to do this motif here to help kind of ease into the color work. And then I wanted to do a thick band of color work and then a bunch of little ones. So that's what I did here. And varying sizes after that rather than keeping everything exactly the same. And I think it worked out really well the way I did it. I do have black like from the top in here every so often, but I tried not to use too much because I tried to get away with using only 2 skeins of black. But I had to use 2.5, dang it. That's okay though. The color work on the arms matches the body as you saw earlier. I will say though, so on the body, the color work motifs all fit perfectly. Like you don't have to stop the color work motif halfway through the motif at the end of the round and then start fresh at the beginning. So there's no like weird lines where the color work doesn't meet up at the beginning of the round. But on the arm, there is. So the first motif, this one, fits perfectly. I did the math so that this first motif fits perfectly. And obviously it looks a little weird just because knitting stripe, I mean, if you've ever knit stripes in the round, you know that you have to, it's just jogs. You have to do certain techniques to get jogs to disappear, if that makes sense. I also haven't woven in the ends yet, so there's little holes here and there. But anyways, then I started the decreases after that, so I didn't have any funky, weird things going in through the more complicated, chunky motif. But then in all the smaller motifs, I have decreases throughout. You just can't avoid that. So I think I did a decent job of handling that, especially on the second sleeve where I already had some practice with it. Some of them they fit, some of them I managed to work through the decreases a little bit smoothly, a little bit more smoothly. So you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on there. Like this one, you can kind of see, like you can tell that there's decreases there, but it's not incredibly jarring, I guess. I don't know, maybe it is to you guys. I did my best with it. I thought of different ways to handle doing the decreases through the motifs, and that's the best that I could come up with, other than totally redesigning all the motifs that I'd done and making sure everything fit everywhere. But even then, that's just too complicated and not fun. I just wanted this project to be fun and not insanely filled with math or whatever. So I also, the sleeves are kind of, what do you call it? Balloon sleeve-ish. It's puffy and then tie it around the wrist here. I guess I could have avoided, like not done any decreases, but then it would have been very balloon sleevey. And I didn't want it to be like super balloon sleevey here. I think I love the thickness that it is, and I think it turned out really good. Just a little poof and then the straight cuff. I did have to add 2 extra motifs on the sleeves compared to the body because the sleeves are longer than the body, obviously, just like your arms are longer than your body. It took me a while to figure out what motifs to do in general for the whole sweater. I knew what I was doing for the first one and the second one, and then I struggled after that. I ripped things back quite a few times to figure it out. I took a break from the sweater for like 2 weeks because I just didn't know what motifs to do next, but I finally figured it out in the end, and I think they all work so well together, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. So that is my sunset sweater. I think that's the name I've settled with. I know there's another sunset sweater pattern out there. But I don't know what else to call this. I've gone with the sunset sweater because this right here looks kind of like a sunset, right? This motif kind of looks like a sunset. And I'm golden hour knitwear, so it's kind of fun that my first pattern is sunset because golden hour is the sunset, right? I also thought it'd be fun to call it sunset because when I come out with a pattern, I'm planning on having the pattern have a whole bunch of motifs in it. Obviously, it'll have these motifs in there too, so you can make this exact sweater. But I'm also planning on putting other motifs and guides in there so you can plug and play whatever motifs you want to make your sweater like however you want it. So just like no sunset is the same, no sunset sweater has to be the same either. And I think that'll be really fun. At some point, I want to knit another one of these in different colors and different motifs and add a zipper here and like a chunky collar. But that's not gonna happen this year. It might happen next season, like next fall, winter, or it might happen like January, February, but not particularly soon because I have a lot of sweaters that I want to get out of the brain and on the needles. So on Instagram, if you're following me there, you've seen that I was hoping to have a test call for this today, but that's not happening. I've tried grading and I think I'm pretty close, but I'm just stuck on like neck shaping and like the shoulder shaping in the back. I'm just kind of stuck in a few places. So I'm determined to have a test call in 2 weeks at the latest. That's the plan. But I'm going to do my best. I've been talking to a few graders and other designing friends and kind of trying to figure it out. So we'll see. But in the meantime, if you're interested in test knitting this sweater, I have an email list started so that as soon as I'm ready to test, I'll send an email out to the people on the email list so they can start filling out the Google form or the test knit call or whatever as soon as it's ready. So if you want to be the first to know about test calls, then you can join that email list. I'll put the link in the description. Okay, I have a second finished object, and it's a cardigan. And the what's it called? The ends are not woven in on this one either. I know, I'm awful. But if you okay, let me show you. Is it on this side? No, it's on this side. Like, look at all of these ends. I didn't weave them in as I went. And there's billions and billions of ends to weave in. Because I have, you know, there's the black, which I alternated skeins. So I have billions of ends up here. And then I have like 2 colors going at a time all throughout. So I have the blue and the rust starting this little stripe and ending this little stripe. And the yellow and the black starting this. And then the yellow at the, like, there's so many ends on the sleeves and on the body. It's just, it's a lot. It's a little overwhelming. Like somebody seriously needs to bring me some snacks and just come sit with me and we can eat snacks and weave in all the ends of my projects because it's bad. I finished this maybe a week ago, and yeah, I think I finished it a week ago. And then I finished my next project like the day after that and got it blocking the day after that or something. And I just couldn't bring myself to weave in ends because the whole last week I've been trying to grade the pattern and I've been dyeing so much yarn trying to prepare sock sets and the next collection and what else was there? Oh, Advent's finishing up Advent calendars and just so many things. So the last weekish, I haven't gotten a whole lot of knitting done, honestly. And when I have free time after doing a lot of pattern grading and writing and dyeing yarn and packaging orders, I'm not going to weave in ends. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna knit. So yes, you get all the ends today. But my second finished object, and I'll try it on for you too. This is the April cardigan by PetiteKnit. And I actually really love this. When I was knitting it, I was like, this is a little tight. I don't know if this is gonna fit so well. But I really love it. I love the yarn, and I've said this every single week. Look how yummy that is. This is that, oh, there we go. Okay, this is, what is it called? Kelborn Woolens. It's Kelborn Woolens. I don't remember which base it is. It's the DK weight. I don't know if that's Scout or Camper, but it's strawberry heathered or heathered strawberry or something like that. And it's so much fun. It's like this strawberry color with like blues and greens and yellows and other reds heathered in there. And it's just so good. I love it so much. I love it. I do have the buttons on there. This is my first time actually sewing buttons on anything or on any sweater, a cardigan before. So it's a little funky. I did my best to line them up nicely, but I mean, you can't see right here. I'll show you when I try it on. But they might be a tiny bit funky because the button band isn't perfectly blocked out totally straight at the bottom. It could be a little bit different, but let me try it on for you. Okay, this is my April cardigan. I love that it's just like little and it just fits nicely. I don't know, I like it. And the sleeves are nice and cozy. I like how kind of the sleeves are a little bit more oversized, whereas the body just kind of hugs you a little bit better. It's just comfy. I like it. And I think the buttons work pretty well. I honestly just got a cheap pack of buttons at Michael's. They were super cheap. It was like a pack of 8 of these buttons and then 8 tiny buttons or something like that. I don't know. But I think it works. I think the wooden buttons work. So yes, I really like this one. I don't know what else there really is to say. I like the fit, it's cozy. I love the yarn. I will definitely use this yarn again. I realize I think this is my first like full garment in non-superwash yarn. I think. Well, I mean, mohair doesn't count, right? I have knit a garment with 2 strands mohair and that's it. But I'm not gonna count that. I'm gonna count like full on yarn. I'm not getting mohair. But anyways, this is my first full, like, super wash, not including mohair garment. And I really, really like it. This is such a really great yarn. I love it. Yes, the one thing, I guess, to say about it, besides the blocking transformed it because the button band is ribbed and the bottom is a thick thing of ribbing. And so blocking it and giving all of that a really good stretch really helped it lay flat. I took a video of myself wearing it before I blocked it. I just need to take a video of myself wearing it after I blocked it. And then I'll post a reel so I can show you all how it changed before blocking and after blocking because it's pretty cool how big of a difference it is. The other thing I guess I should say about this is the button band. It's a raglan or whatever you call this, I don't know. So it's seamless construction, blah, blah, blah. Then, after everything's all done, you pick up like 1 billion stitches all the way around from the bottom up, around your head and back down for the button band. There's a lot of stitches. I think it was 300 and something. So the way I handled the button band was I found the middle of the garment in the very back because I wanted to have, you know, similar-ish amount of stitches on both sides. So I found the middle of the garment in the very back. I just counted how many stitches I had between each decrease section, divided it by 2, found my middle stitch, and put a stitch marker there. And then I picked up as many stitches as I could, really, as the pattern instructed, with the pickup ratios or whatever. Picked up from there to the stitch marker, counted how many it was, and then picked up that many on the other side as best I could. And I was able to get, after trying twice, I had to rip back a few more times so that I could pick up extra stitches and fit that many in there. But I picked up the same amount of stitches here and here. And it was, I think it was 5 or 6. It was close, but it wasn't quite as many stitches as I needed to follow the button band directions exactly in the pattern. So then I figured out, so this pattern, this cardigan is a V-neck cardigan, right? When you button it up. And so I found that the pattern says that the first button should be level with right where it bends, where it turns into the V, right? The bottom of the V. And so I found where that was. I found that last increase and I put a stitch marker there. And then I counted how many stitches I had and I looked at the pattern and saw what the difference was. I figured out where I want to put my first stitch, or first button, where I want to put my last button, figured out how many stitches were between there, and then I divided it evenly between them all. So I got all of my holes, my buttonholes in there evenly, and I was pretty proud of myself for figuring out how to get it in there nice and evenly without following the exact instructions in the pattern. So yes, again, I think that's all that there really is to say about this. I'm happy with how it turned out. Again, I love the yarn. I think my local yarn store carries this stuff. I don't know. They had a really deep red that was heathered with fun colors like this. And I really want to try that one. I know, I mean, I don't know if my local yarn store has it, but I know Kelborn Woolens has a yarn like that, and I really want to use that color. So I need to go take a look. Maybe Christmas shopping, but we'll see. Okay, and my last finished object, I think I'm going to keep this one on. I was planning on putting my sunset sweater back on after this, but it's actually pretty warm today, and that's a thick worsted weight pillarwork sweater, so it's like double thick, and it's just a little warm. So I think we're going to keep this April cardigan on. But my other finished object is the Essential Beanie, and again, no ends are woven in. Here, I'll make it look like the ends are woven in. Shh. But this is my, oh, look how cute. This is the Essential Beanie by Andrea Gaughan. I knit this one for my daughter, and it's so cute. This is the bulky weight version. I held a worsted weight, a light fingering weight, and 2 lace weight yarns together. And I think that equaled bulky. I think it worked out. I can get this over my daughter's head, but I mean, it's been a year since she's worn beanies, and she's not even 2 yet, so she doesn't remember that. And you try to put something on her head, she freaks out, like, what are you doing to me? So I haven't been able to put this on her for a very extended period of time, so I don't know exactly how it fits, but I know I can get it over her head. So this is blocked, but the ends are not woven in. So everything I've shown you today is blocked, the ends just aren't woven in. So this turned out so cute. It's so stinking soft. I absolutely love it. It has Malabrigo yarn in it. It has Rowan, baby alpaca. The pink one is the baby alpaca. It has some mohair that I dyed, and it has just a light fingering acrylic yarn. That's the white one. The mohair is a very light greenish bluish color. Hello. Also, we all know this by now, we don't make fun of Camry's nails because I don't care about my nails. I don't keep them up and keep them pretty. So, and half the time they have dye in them from dyeing yarn. So just, all right. This is so stinking cute. So I knitted this for the Essential Beanie Cal that I'm hosting with Andrea Gaughan, the designer of this beanie. And today, if you're watching this the day that it comes out, is the last day to enter for prizes for the knit along. So if you're watching this today, the day that it comes out on November, what's the date? November 5th, then you still have time to go on Instagram and post a picture of your work in progress or your finished object and of the Essential Beanie. And use the hashtag the Essential Beanie Cal, and then tag both Andrea and I. So you can find on my profile, you can find the photo on my Instagram profile. You can find the post about it that tells you all the information you need to enter for prizes. But I will draw for prizes on Monday. So if you are here for prizes, be sure to go enter. And if you're watching this too late, and if the knit along is over, stay tuned, because I want to keep knit alongs going. I want to do them all the time. And I have one lined up for starting next week, actually. So stay tuned, because we're going to be doing a sweater starting next week. That one will be longer knit along because it's a sweater, but stay tuned. Stick around, because we're going to have lots of knit alongs from here on out, hopefully. So, okay, that is all the finished objects. Now we're on to whips. And all these whips, I haven't gotten a ton of progress on them, and some whips I haven't even touched. Because like I said, I finished a sweater and a cardigan and a hat. I guess I just blocked the hat. It was technically done last time. I just blocked it this time. Oops. That's not very impressive. Just kidding. Not that it has to be. But so I've been knitting these socks for my husband. I finished this one a while ago. And last week, I'm pretty sure I just had the leg. And this week, I think the only progress I made is the heel. So it's not a whole lot of progress. But again, I've been really trying to work on grading and writing up the pattern for the sunset sweater and dyeing a ton of yarn. So you can't blame me. It's okay. I spent a lot of time on the sunset sweater. But anyways, I'm loving these. I'm excited to have them done. But it's pretty much just car knitting. I really only work on it in the car. And so it's getting done very slowly. But I need to just finish it because my husband wants it, and it's getting really cold. So his feet will be happy when they're done. Along the line of socks, last time I showed the half-C socks that I started. I had almost finished that first sock. I just needed to sew it up and then knit the cuff. But I haven't touched those in the last 2 weeks either. But I really want to finish them because they're so thick and cozy and so soft. So I want to finish them because it's been pretty cold. So I'm excited to finish those. I just need to finish all the socks in the next 2 weeks. We'll see. Okay, next up I have my Minou cardigan. And honestly, I don't know if I've touched this either, so I'll just show it really quick. I love this pattern. I'm just not spending a whole lot of time on it because I'm trying to knit the sweaters that are in my brain. Because if I want to release patterns for them, it needs to be soon so that the patterns are released in the wintertime, not in the spring. So anyways, I've just been prioritizing those. But look how gorgeous that stitch pattern is. Oh my goodness. I love it. I know that the designer is working on the sweater sample right now, and I'm excited to see how that turns out. Okay, next one's just this. Okay, no, it's been a journey. This one should be a lot easier. So this is another sweater that I'm being very choppy with my words right now. This is another pattern that I'm winging it as I go. And it should be easier than an almost all over colorwork sweater. But it's not. And I think I need to rip it out for like the 5th time because it's just not working out the way I want it to. And I think I need to go with a slightly different construction. So here it is. This is I don't have a name for it. I've just been calling it a striped sweater. So I was gonna go for this type of drop shoulder construction where the back is literally a panel, just like the Minou cardigan that I showed you. That was the back. It's just a straight black back panel. Whereas this drop shoulder construction is like a trapezoid. It has shoulder shaping, right? So it drapes a little bit easier. This one, I didn't want to do shoulder shaping because that gets complicated with the stripes. So I was just gonna do straight rectangle for the back panel. However, I mean, I think it'll fit fine. Maybe my only problem is the neck. I don't like the neck shaping that I have, and I don't think I've left quite enough space for the neck. I also don't like where these stripes are ending up because it looks fine like this, but when you're wearing it and here it drops here, maybe it's not awful. I just wish there was some more white before. Like, okay, look, I'll show you. So the brown stripe, you knit the brown stripe, and then after the brown stripe, you immediately start the white stripe. And right as you start the white stripe, you're casting on stitches here under the neck. So there's no white above the bottom of the neck, and there's no brown below the bottom of the neck. And I don't like the way that's sitting. So maybe I just need to rip out this front panel, do the neck a little bit differently, and maybe that'll solve my problem. But I've also considered ripping it out totally and doing a construction more like this. 1, for a better fit, and 2, so that 1, grading is easier and all the sizes have the same stripes. And so that the stripes start like here or right underneath the arm. So I thought about doing that, but I don't think I've shared my idea with this sweater completely yet. So I'll share that right now to help explain why this is a problem. So if I wait to do the stripes until right underneath the arm, then there's not going to be very many stripes because I plan to stop the stripes so here's my belly button. Here's my belly button. I plan to, and my pants are hitting like right here. I have high-waisted jeans on. I plan to stop the sweater maybe here and then do a long split hem, long rounded split hem in the front and the back with twisted ribbing. So that's giving you a short body. And I don't plan on doing stripes on the ribbing or the hem or whatever. So that's what, from here to here of stripes. And these are pretty thick stripes. So I really wouldn't be able to have very many stripes in there at all if I don't start the stripes until under the arm. So I don't really know what to do. I need to figure out how I want my stripes to lay. That's my biggest problem with this one, is figuring out where I want the stripes to lay with the construction that I'm doing and making it fit well. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, especially because I'm new at winging it. So I think I'm going to rip it out, or at least the front panel. I don't know. Maybe I'll just try it on again, see what I think. I do want a closer neck on this one, but we'll see. And I also, what do you guys think about the contrast neck color? I was planning on doing just brown for the neck, but I don't know. What do you think? Should I do just white or should I do just brown? Or should I change it to green? Let me know what you think. I also want to keep in mind for my stripes, another thing to keep in mind, is that I want my stripes to start pretty much right where the underarm joins in the round, because that works better for when I'm planning on doing German short rows, just like I did here, right? Do German short rows here so that the stripes on the striped sweater match up with the stripes on the body, just like the color work matches up with the color work here. So just a lot of placement considerations for how the stripes go in this pattern. And that's what's giving me all the troubles, because I'm just going for it. I'm not really doing enough math. I'm just going for it because it should be easy, but it's not. But that's okay. I really want that one done quick because I think it'll be cute. I don't say that often, but I think I'll like it a lot. So I really want it. I love the idea of it in my brain, so I really want to finish it. So hopefully I just am able to figure out those problems and get down to business and finish it in the next couple weeks. We'll see though. I tend to say that a lot. We'll see, we'll see. I make these ambitious plans and then I say, we'll see. Okay, this week I also started some simple raglan sweaters just because I've been doing so many drop shoulders where it's like, knit this, now pick up stitches. And I always get stuck at picking up stitches because I always have to rip it out and try it again because I didn't get enough stitches or something like that. So I wanted simple in the round knitting. So I started Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Maed. This one, I might need to change my needle sizes. But I also need to try it on before I decide. Maybe it's fine, especially when I block it. Anyways, this yarn is from my last collection. It's the Campfire Smoke with little bits of black tweediness in there. So this is a wool mohair silk blend, which is really fun, and especially for the fall because, I don't know, it's silk and wool. So it's not like crazy warm, not super, and it's fingering weight, so it's not super thick like that worsted weight sweater is. But I finished the ribbing and I'm just barely getting into the body. And I've already messed up the number of stitches that I have, so I might have to restart it, but that's okay. The other sweater that I started is the Doocot sweater, and I don't have very much of this either. Here it is. That's all I have. This one's interesting. So usually, I mean, the raglan sweaters and t-shirts and things that I've knit, you cast on your collar, you do the ribbing for so long, and then you do German short rows to get, you know, good shaping, good fitting things, and then you start knitting in the round, and you're doing your increases at all the raglan parts, right? But this one has you cast on a little bit of stitches, work back and forth, not in the round, and then it has you cast on a few stitches and then work in the round. It's really interesting. I think that's going to give you a little bit more of like a scoop neck, sort of, but it's mostly just making sure that things sit the way they're supposed to, I think. Anyway, and then at the end, we'll go back through and pick up stitches for the collar and knit the collar. So this one's fun. The yarn that I'm using is from Thistle House Yarns. I won it in a giveaway, and it's super soft. It's super pretty. I got to pick the color as I won a sweater quantity of yarn a while ago, and it's super pretty green. It's super soft. It's been so much fun to work with. So this is really nice. And I know Thistle House Yarns is coming out with a collection right now, and it's super fun and super interesting. It's inspired by a bunch of different art, and so there's a lot of really pretty colorways. So be sure to go check that out because they're fun ones. But very nice, soft, pretty green, soft yarn, pretty dark green. So I'm excited to have this one. And I am so happy to just have straight stockinette in the round. My goodness. Because I've had a cardigan which is purling and knitting and purling and knitting back and forth. I mean, the sleeves were, but you know, that's all DPNs for me anyways. I don't love magic loop on anything other than socks. And then I've had color work. So I'm excited to have just stockinette in the round finally. For the first time in actually a while. It's been a while since I've done just stockinette in the round. I'm excited. Okay, let's talk November knitting plans. I don't usually talk about my knitting plans, but I have a lot that I would like to be working on, like a lot of goals for the next month, so I figured I'd share them a little bit. So the first one, this is November's sock set. So if you are a sock set member, I'm sorry, a sock set club member, I'm sorry that I'm sharing this so early. Like, you probably, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen the photo before you received your sock set. So I'm sorry about that. I try not to post too early, but this is also the color of the month. So anybody is able to order this sock set. I wanted to make it available all throughout the month. So if you are interested in the sock set, you are also able to order it. If you're a member of my sock set club, you have this coming in the mail, or you already have this. So this month's sock set is inspired by my daughter because it's her birth month. So she's turning 2 at the end of November. And I've been doing so many like fall related sock sets, and I wanted to change it up. And so since it's my daughter's birth month, I figured it'd be fun to do one inspired by her. So it's got blues and pinks and purples and whites. It's very light colored. So those are like your typical little girl colors, right? Because when you first meet my daughter, you're like, oh, she's just a cute little girl. But as you get to know her, you're like, whoa, girl, you're sassy. And so I wanted to have this bold color in there because she's bold and sweet. She's bold, she's sweet, she's cute, and she's just beautiful, and I love her to death. I love her so much. And so I'm excited about these. I think the colors work really fun together. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with mine yet. Oh, and it came with a little stitch marker. Let's see. I don't normally put stitch markers in sock sets for my sock set club, but I just wanted to mess around with it. Come on. I wanted to mess around with it this month because it's my daughter, so I wanted to go special. And it's butterflies because my daughter loves butterflies. She actually was supposed to dress up as a butterfly for Halloween, but she refused to put her costume on. But that's another story. Anytime she sees a butterfly flying around, she goes, bye-bye! And she gets so excited. So I had to make little butterfly stitch markers. So I don't know what I'm going to do with mine yet. I don't know if I want to make her a little sweater. I found a pattern that should work that for her size takes this much yardage plus little pops of color. I don't know if it's duplicate stitch or what, but there's little polka dots of a contrast color in there. So I think I can make her a sweater out of this. But I'm also tempted to make her a little pair of socks and me a little pair of socks. But she needs a nice warm sweater, so it might be a sweater. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, like I said, this is the color of the month, so this is available for order all month long. It's dyed to order. So as orders come in, I dye it up and send it out. So within a week or two at most, it'll be dyed up and sent out to you. So that's how that works. I'll put the link in the description below for those. And I also this month have my sock set subscription open. So if you want to join the others in my sock set club and get a fun sock set every month, you can join the sock set subscription. I'll put the link down below for that as well. And it's for the next 6 months. So from December through May, you get a sock set each of those months. And I usually go along with the seasons or what's going on during those seasons or whatever. The colors are usually always inspired by things that I love or things that make me happy. So like my daughter. But that is also open. I'll leave that open pretty much all month. And then at the end of the month, I'll close it and then add the new people in and dye more sock sets for next month. So anyways, that's this month. Oh, I should also say, I only have enough stuff to make like 14 more butterfly stitch markers. So the first 14 people that order the sock set for this month's color of the month, get butterfly stitch markers. If there are any more than that, you don't get a butterfly stitch marker. The first 14 people who order will. So, and that's just a free little add-on. So anyways, that's that. It's super cute, super fun. So that's the plan for this month. It's probably gonna be a sweater for my daughter, but we'll see. My other plans, I want to finish that striped sweater this month. I really want, it's been plaguing my knitting needles forever, and I just want to finish it and get it done and get it going. I also have like 3 or 4.5 or whatever other sweater design ideas in my brain that I want to create. Some of them I need to dye yarn for them first. So we will see. I would love, I just want to get going on those things quickly and want to start maybe at least 2 of them this month, because I guess I just started 2 raglan sweaters. So I have 4 sweaters on the needle right now, but I mean, what's 2 more, right? I also want to knit myself some mittens because it's getting cold, especially when we go on walks with the dog. So I bought this yarn at a wool festival over the summer. I got 4 hanks of this stuff. 2 of them are this lighter color with the little gold specks in there. Is it stellina? I don't know. And then 2 skeins are darker, and it's bulky weight. I thought I'd have enough for a sweater, and there is a pattern out there that I could knit with all of this, but I realized that, like, on the way home after I bought these skeins, I realized that they're different from each other, and I don't really want to do that in a sweater. So mittens they will be. So I'm gonna make myself some chunky mittens with this, and then I'll probably be able to make some for my daughter as well, and a beanie. Like, I have a lot. I might have to destash some too, because I don't like having stuff just sitting around. So we'll see about that. But I'm excited. This is so soft. It's alpaca. The alpaca's name was Felicity. It's from Ohio, so it's super fun. I'm excited to cast those on. I bought the pattern last night, I think. So I just got to get going on it and make them. Another plan I have, so I've knit 1 sock from my September sock set, the red and the yellow one. I knit 1 sunflower sock, this 1 sunflower power sock with the sunflower at the stripe. I'll try to put a picture if I can find it. So I knit 1 of those. I want to at least cast on the other one this month and get that going. And I want to finish my husband's socks this month too. So, and maybe I should finish my halvesy socks too. So I just want to clear my sock needles as much as I can. These plans for November are getting kind of ambitious, but that's the way things go around here. I would like to finish as much of blankets as possible, because I have my Advent that I'm dyeing up. I'm dyeing one up for myself as well. So I want to kind of get as much blanket done as I can, because I'm knitting a blanket with my Advent. That's the plan. So I want to try and finish as much blanket as I can by then, so that I don't have like a billion blankets on the go, because that's madness. But I mentioned earlier that I have a bunch of sweater design ideas in the brain that I want on the needles. So I want to cast on a few of those this month. And I have a scarf that I want to cast on as well. So one of them is a sweater pattern, a sweater idea that's very textured. And I want to knit, or at least start a scarf in the same texture before I do like a little bitty, you know, wrap around 2 times. It's just a short, cute little scarf. I wanted to at least start a scarf in that texture idea first, so I can kind of figure out what it is, because it's kind of not quite there yet. I mean, I just need to test it out before I try a whole entire sweater in it. So I want to do a scarf in that this month as well, so that I'm more solid in my plans for the sweater on that. But yes, those are my knitting plans for the month. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about them all. Yes, I'm excited about them all. They'll be fun. We'll figure it out. Let me know what you're planning on knitting this month, what you're working on right now. Let me know what you think about this colorwork sweater, since it's mine and I'm trying to get the pattern written up and graded. Let me know what you think of it. If you're interested in knitting it or test knitting it, let me know, because that's always helpful to encourage me to get working on the pattern. And let me know what you think about the striped sweater as well. because that one's stumping me. All right, friends, that is all for today. Again, don't forget to enter your knits into the knit along if you're joining us for that, to enter for prizes, and then stick around for future knit alongs. And then remember, this month's color of the month is the sock set, and sock set subscriptions are open. And keep your eye open for test calls. But yes, I think that's all for now. Keep your eyes open because I've got a lot planned for the next several weeks / months. But yeah, thank you all for being here. You've all been so insanely kind with, so I've posted my sunset sweater a few times on Instagram, and you all have been so kind and welcoming of it. Those posts have been performing extremely well, and you've all been commenting and DMing me and doing, like, just being so kind about it. And I do a little happy dance every single time I get a nice comment or DM or whatever. So thank you for showing it all the love in the world. I'm glad you guys are excited about it as I am. So thanks again. Thank you for watching today. I'm excited to see you next week and see what else I have finished for next week, if anything. So I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.